Namaste and welcome to the series Banasthali Beyond Boundaries. I am Chetna Sharma, a student of Banasthali Vidyapith, and I have been working with the AIC Banasthali to bring out the stories of startups which are creating impact. The idea is very simple and close to my heart. Just to bring out the real stories of challenges, learnings, and dreams, which are hopefully creating some spark within us. Today, it's my honor to introduce you all with Ms. Sree Supranayi. She is the dynamic founder and CEO of AnduraX. AnduraX is a Hyderabad-based space tech startup which is working and developing the India's first reusable orbital vehicle. The vision of AnduraX is not to create space, a final frontier, but a new workplace. Ma'am.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction and your words, Chetna. Really happy to be here at IIC Banasthali. Yes, I am Sree, founder of AnduraX, and we are the startup building space logistics, or essentially India's first reusable space planes. Happy to share my journey with you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for being here. So, could you please introduce yourself and share that what inspired you to get into entrepreneurship and especially in the challenging field like aerospace and space technology?
That's a very deep question. My passion towards space started even before my awareness towards world has begun. As a child itself, my mom used to make me sleep with stories of space and stars and space civilization and habitats of moon. I grew up dreaming to be there by the time I am at what age I am today. But as I grew, I continued on that journey, pursued my BTech in aerospace engineering, and to bridge the gap between technology and business, completed my MBA finance, and now I've started the startup AnduraX. Rather than saying what inspires me about space, the better question would be what does not. Any industry you take, from medicine to space, law to every industry, the epitome of human advancement today is space. That is where I am establishing a foundation which can make every industry contribute to it and make human the upcoming spacefaring civilization.
It's so good to hear, and it's so inspiring at the same time.
Thank you.
So, making transition towards the second question, can you share about your co-founder and how would you suggest one could find the right co-founder?
The moment an individual asks what's one of the biggest challenges when starting a startup, this the first thing I would spot. This having the right co-founder lays the right foundation for the complete journey you're gonna have ahead. So any startup or any idea should have a balance of optimistic vision and critical thinking and failure analysis. That is exactly what you have to balance with a co-founder. Myself, I've met my co-founder. We worked in an earlier company. We worked together for over 2 years, understood the common vision we have towards both space and defense, and come together to lay the foundation for AnduraX today.
Moving on to the third question, for someone new to space technology, how would you explain AnduraX is building and the problem it aims to solve?
Absolutely. I'll put it in a very simple way. Let's say you have an island somewhere out in the sea where you can gather valuable resources, or is the best foundation to set up any kind of manufacturing. And over a decade, we have spent all our resources, time, and energy into sending the raw materials there, establishing the factories for this manufacturing. That's exactly where the space ecosystem is today. We've sent satellites and launch vehicles for the last decade. Now we have also advanced to developing reusable launch vehicles, making the launch cheaper, affordable, and more sustainable. Now comes the time where we utilize the environment there for the actual benefit of humanity. Like this exact segment is called microgravity experimentation and in-space manufacturing, where you can in fact develop the cure to cancer 10 times faster or make semiconductor chips 30 times more efficient. Now, what is the point of manufacturing anything in space if you cannot bring it back and make it utilize it for the benefit of humanity at the end of the day? And this is the exact problem we are solving by building re-entry vehicles which are reusable. We are building reusable space planes that can carry any payload from space back to Earth and land on a runway. Yes.
That's so fascinating to hear. At what stage your startup is at currently, and what upcoming milestone you are excited about?
Currently, we are in the prototyping stage. We have developed the conceptual design, validated our idea both with our customers and especially defense. Initially, we are going with very defense focused. One of our main vision is to develop Boeing X-37B, a space plane, a similar space plane USA has for India, to put India in a pedestal for space warfare. That is the area we are focused on currently. At the same time, space is like a funnel where you pour anything on the top, any material advancement that happens in the space segment, a lightweight material will flow down into every segment, advancing the technology everywhere. So that is why with every subsystem we're building, I would say, we're also working on developing sustainable propulsion system, and GPS and navigation avionics system, subsystem by subsystem, are under development today.
Okay, can you please explain what propulsion system is?
Okay, so propulsion system is essentially the engine segment of the complete spacecraft, which will support you. If you take launch vehicle, propulsion is what the booster stage, the engine that takes the launch vehicle from Earth to space. For our case, since we are a spacecraft, the propulsion system is what will help navigate the spacecraft in space, and while re-entry, glide and land in a more sustainable way. The propulsion system we are building is unique because of the propellant choices we use. Today, for similar solutions, we are using toxic propellants which are cancerous to the users. So we are replacing it with a more sustainable choices, making it not just beneficial for the final product but the humanity who is building it too.
Okay, moving on to the next question. As a woman founder, do you feel AIC Banasthali is creating a more inclusive and empowering environment for us?
Absolutely. The first time I visited AIC Banasthali, I felt I would do my BTech all over again if I get an opportunity. The ecosystem, the convergence of 5 types of art into studies, that is amazing. And the women founders I meet here, the kind of feminine energy they bring in, the kind of motivation they bring in is epitome. In fact, I'm right now surrounded by all the innovations the founders of and the students of AIC Banasthali have built. It is amazing to be here, and I'm happy that AIC Banasthali is part of the big journey we are taking ahead.
Thank you so much, ma'am. What have been the biggest challenges of building a startup at the prototype stage, and how did you navigate them?
Okay, a tricky question to converge, but I would say the moment you start talking about space tech to anyone, the mind shifts towards sci-fi. It's a very far beyond reach kind of intention that comes into mind, but in reality it is not. It is just integration of the right technology at the right time to serve the right need, and space technology is again any other segment, but conveying this to the right people is the first and foremost challenge we do face in this industry. And the second thing is to show the intensity of the challenge in space tech. I always use this story. So there was actually one king who is going to a war, who has less resources than his opponent had. Now he has to fight the war and win. So there's one thing he did. All he did was, after they crossed a lake, he told his army, burn your boats. So either you win or you die. There is no going back. There is no escape. So that is how space tech is kind of why. If you build a small, let's say launch vehicle, I'll take the example of launch vehicle itself. It either launches, goes into the specific location, or it's gone. The billions of dollars you put into it is crashed and turned into dust. Any spacecraft you build, once it goes into space, there is no way of going back and repairing it and like getting a second chance at it. It's a one-time strategy. It's a one go you have for it. That is the biggest challenge in space technology, where right from the foundation you have to be very critical in every aspect of it, ensuring everything goes to the perfection before the launch.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Where do you envision AnduraX in next 5 to 10 years?
Okay, so I in fact have a complete plan for where Andura will be in the next 50 to 100 years, but I'll put it in short for 5 to 10 years, yes. So we intend to first solve the space logistics challenge, be the go-to space logistics partner, support Space Vision 2047 of India, aiding to the development of Gaganyaan and supporting Atmanirbhar Bharat. At the same time, with the warfare advancements going on, I intend to put India as in the pedestal in space warfare. I always heard one army person say that the World War II was won by whoever had the air dominance, but World War III will definitely be in the hands of whoever has the space dominance. And I'm very patriotic, and so is my whole company and team. So we are positioning ourselves in such a way we not only contribute sustainably to the human development, but also contribute to the defense system of India in the upcoming journey.
Transitioning to the next question. What message would you like to share with aspiring entrepreneurs?
It's in very simple words, I would say just dream limitlessly. You know, the only limits you have is what you place on yourself. But to be specific, there are 3 underrated things I would always suggest to an aspiring entrepreneur. You do not have to chase towards really big quotations or motivations. Stick to 3 things. One, I would say, is discipline. It's absolutely underrated. Do not work on motivation, work on discipline. There will be a lot of setbacks. No journey, no rewarding journeys are as smooth as a slide. The best sailors get created in the tough storms is what they say. So set on the sail, keep going, and make your profession what your core passion is. Through my childhood, my dad used to tell me this, that if passion becomes profession, every day is a vacation. That's how I've laid my life. If I'm on a vacation and if I have nothing to do, what would I do every day? That's what I made the foundation of my entrepreneur journey. I started working in space because I know that's what I would do every day and never ever be bored by it. And 2 other qualities that are very, very vital for an aspiring entrepreneur is definitely time and energy management. Be very aware of where you're putting your time, where you're putting your energy, because we are growing up in a generation with a lot of deviations, honestly. Right from social media to fun to enjoyment, balance is very well appreciated, but at the same time you have to be very conscious in our decisions to utilize the available technology for your own benefit rather than your own downfall. And yes, do not work with compulsiveness, rather work with consciousness. Everything is established with a certain limits or certain predetermined context today. So I would, in a very simple way, say break the barriers, define your own rules, and the limits are what only you set for yourself. That would be my advice to any aspiring entrepreneur in any segment.
Every word that you just said was so true and practical, means that's what we should actually do.
Yes.
Moving on to the next question. If you could describe your startup in one word, then what would it be and why?
Okay, that's a really tricky one. Such a journey, putting it in one word, I cannot find a better comparison to it than the analogy of space itself. The vision is limitless, but this vast opportunities in this segment, I would say more of a roller coaster journey. There is always ups, there's always downs, but that combination is what makes it a thrilling ride. I think that should do.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your journey and insights. And I hope this story of yours bring more women into a domain like space technology, and that's what my vision is, to know the problem, to inspire other women to come into the domains which are male dominated, and to kind of just motivate them that you can go out and you can do wonders.
That's really great. I'm really happy to be here, and I am sure this will reach to a lot of women entrepreneurs or even students who are aspiring. As a kid, just looking at stars in the night and wanting to be there, wanting to be an astronaut. They should hear more and more stories like this, understand the opportunity available, and take the first leap. And I would say you're building the foundation to that this way.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, for sharing the insights. That was really inspiring. And
My
I'm
pleasure.
sure your story will inspire and bring more people into the domains like space technology within the Banasthali and beyond.
Happy to be a part of it. Thank you
Thank
so